morning, Joy family. Welcome to the Joyful House and welcome to my playground. This is episode number 29 and we are starting the week of January 5th through the 11th, 2026. So, welcome not only to the Joyful House, not only to my playground, but also to a brand new year. I hope everyone had a wonderful ending to their 2025 and a beautiful beginning to their 2026. We will talk about what has been going on in the Joyful House since we were last together. We'll chase our fun, do our joy word, all of that in just a minute. But before we get started, I want to make sure that we continue something that we have been doing at the middle to end of 2025, that we do it every single time as we come together in 2026. And that is that we always find moments to just express our joy, because no matter what we're going through, there is always joy to be had because we do have hope. We've been promised that God will be with us. He'll never leave us nor forsake us. He is always trying to navigate the best plan of life for us if we just only be patient at times, open our eyes, and we can see that He is definitely navigating us through that. I'm a firm believer that if He takes us to it, He'll bring us through it. And the reason that is because we have been specifically chosen to go through those circumstances in life. And maybe sometimes it's very hard and overwhelming. I get that. And you question, why would God choose you to do something? First off, He's never going to choose you to do something that He knows you cannot handle. He will never put you in a predicament that you cannot get out of. Sometimes He chooses us for things to extend us and to grow us, but sometimes He chooses us to open the eyes of others for something they're struggling with. And so when I look at it in that perspective biblically, it is an honor and it is a pleasure. Doesn't mean that I don't get angry. Doesn't mean that I don't get frustrated. Guilty and guilty. It doesn't mean that sometimes I just want to, give up, because I do. But then He quickly reminds me that I have been chosen for this task. So with all of that being said, I want us to always, no matter what we're going through, to express our joy, even when we don't feel like it. Because I have found that when I become expectant for that joy and I look for that joy, that I find it. And not only that, I want to make sure, I've always wanted this. It's hard to believe I've been with you guys for almost 6 years. That's right. This coming March will be 6 years I've been a content creator here on YouTube. And my main goal always from the beginning, even though my priorities and my goals have changed throughout the years, the one thing that has never changed, that has remained true and the same, is I've always wanted people that when they come over to the Joyful House, that they feel loved, they feel seen, and they feel heard. And in doing that, the best way that I can start promoting that is to promote an environment that is filled with joy. So I do hope that when you come to the Joyful House, that you not only express joy, but you feel joy and you find joy and you leave with more joy than what you came in with. So with that being said, we are going to express our joy this morning, and then we're going to roll right into singing happy birthday to those that are celebrating birthdays this week. But I also want to include all of those whose birthdays we didn't get a chance to shout out here on the playground video because we were taking a break, and we'll talk more about that a little bit later on. But so we're going to go back and celebrate the birthdays of the last couple weeks and this week's as well. And then I want to recognize any new Joy family that has come in. And I also want to recognize any of the Joy team that are celebrating their milestone anniversaries. So if you will, let's start moving and getting ready to express our joy, celebrate birthdays, celebrate new Joy family, and celebrate milestones with the Joy team. And I'll meet you right back here afterwards. welcome back. I hope that you are feeling joyful, and I want to thank you so much for helping me recognize these folks. And again, I just want to call them out for a moment. First, I want to talk about our new Joy family. Some of them have been with us for a couple weeks now, but because we took a break, I want to make sure that they are being seen and heard and recognized as a new part of the Joy family. So once again, I want to say a great big welcome to Carole from Broke But Beautifully Blessed. What a great channel name. And Rita Pacheco and Luke and Pamela Johnson, as well as Mariana from Crochet and More by Nana, Angela Urfer, Debby Loves Yarn, and Joe's Beauty Room, and Brandi, known as Brandi Brat, and BP's Corner, Crochet Shack, and rounding it up with Hooks, Whips, and Chains. So welcome to all of you. It is such an honor and a pleasure to have you here as part of the Joyful family. All right. Moving on, also want to recognize milestones from some of our Joy Team members. And if you are joining the Joyful family for the first time today, our Joy Team members are what we recognize as our paid members. I just don't like that terminology, so I gave them the title name of the Joy Team. And they do have 4 different tiers on the Joy Team. And so today, I want to specifically recognize Kim with Southern Winter, as she is celebrating her 1-year anniversary, and she is a part of the tier Joy Angels. And then I also want to do a shout out and recognition to Kate Hannon for 2 years of being on the Joy Team, and she is part of the Butterfly Joy tier. So Kim and Kate, thank you so much for leveling up your support to not only the channel, but to myself, and for all that you have done to help me grow and bring the best content for the Joyful House in your time here. Also want to recognize our new Joy Team members. We have Laura, who has been gifted membership by Candi. So thank you again, Candi, for that. And then we also have 3 new Joy Team members that have come in on their own. And we want to welcome in Niese from Freehandly Made Awe. And then we also want to welcome in Pam from Pam's Crafty Heart, as well as Mariana from Crochet and More by Nana. Then I want to recognize all of our birthdays, you guys. And yes, I went back, like I said earlier, and included those that we missed during the time that we were taking a break. Again, I thank y'all so much for that break. We'll talk about that again more in just a moment. But let's go over those birthdays. On the week of December 15th, we had Heidi with olutelyYarntastic with Heidi celebrating her birthday. Then the week of December 22nd through the 28th, but really through the end of the year, because we had no one after the 28th, was Sharon Mullinex, who is my aunt. So I thank my family for supporting the channel. And then we had Diana from Daigo Crochet, Anjonette from AJ's Personal Touch, Shirley, known as Shirley Berry, Shirley Razzie, Vicki Oodles, who is Vicki Oodles and Caboodles of Crafts. And then the week of January 1st through the 4th was Sanita. Sanita makes crochet items. Sue, known as Sue R. Mama Susu. And then Mandee from Mork and Mandee. And that brings us to this week, January 5th through the 11th. Tomorrow, we'll be celebrating Crystal's birthday with her, and this is Crystal from Divergent Crafter. Then on Thursday, January the 8th, we'll be celebrating with Tricia, who is known as Tricia the Knitting Lady. And then on Saturday, which is the 10th, will be Debby from Debby Loves Yarn. And then on Sunday, the 11th, we'll be celebrating with Bridget, known as Queen's Crafts by Bridget. And Bridget has announced that she is going to be having a birthday bash over at her lovely house on the 11th to celebrate her birthday. And as soon as I have the link to that, I will put it down in the information box of this video so that you have it to swing over there and join in on her birthday fun. All right. Thank you again so much for celebrating all these folks with me. Now, I'm not sure what's next. Let me go check the agenda. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm a little out of practice, but it will be all right. So the next thing is to talk about what's been going on in the Joyful House since we were last together. And in this case, it has been a couple weeks. So first and foremost, I want to say thank you. Thank you for the break that you gave me. This is the first time I have taken time off of the channel like this. And boy, did I need it. And that is going to be leading us into our joy word for this week, which I am so excited to bring those joy words back because I didn't realize how much they truly affected me in a positive way to have that word to reflect from week to week. So I've missed the joy words myself. But before we get there, so we took about 3 weeks off from the channel. And again, that is the longest I have ever done. And as I shared earlier in this very video, this year coming up in just a couple months, I'll be celebrating 6 years on the channel. So thank you, thank you, thank you for that break and that breather. I did not realize how much I needed it. And so what went on during that week? Well, I wish I could tell you that a lot went on, but it did not. And I'll share more of that in just a moment. But we rested. We rested and we did things that we just don't normally get to do because we live these such busy, crazy, go, 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 go lives that we don't oftentimes take time to just breathe and relax. And we did a lot of that. And the we that I'm referring to is Mr. Joyful and myself. We went out and sat at the picnic table and admired the stars, something that we love doing, but really only do once in a blue moon anymore. And so we've made a commitment to take some of the things that we've done over the last couple weeks and not necessarily reinvent the wheel, but just make a harder effort to incorporate those in our day-to-day lives and every week. And we did things like just turn on music and listen to music and have no agenda and just sit there and enjoy one another's company. We sang songs together. It was Christmas songs, Christian music, country songs. We even played some 80s rock. We had a really great time and enjoyed each other's company and even danced a time or two. So that was a lot of fun. And then we just crawled up on the couch and watched movies. No crocheting, no, none of his comics. Like we just sat together and watched some movies together and just enjoyed one another's company. We played a couple board games and not just him and I, but also, as a family with the boys. And we just enjoyed our time together. Now we do still have to celebrate Christmas with the boys. Jonathan has been so busy and diligent in all of his free time around his work schedule to try and hunt and get deers, not only for his home, but for his dad's home and for our home. And whatever we do get, we're going to share with my parents. So he's been faithful in trying to give that to us. And that's a great gift and more than enough because that is something that will last us the whole entire year. So, excitement to him. So far, he's only gotten one, and it's a doe. And I think he's allowed to get one more doe and 3 bucks. And so his window is closing shortly. So we have given him the grace of waiting. And so I will definitely share some of that with you when it comes. We do plan on doing the traditional thing that we started last year, and that was a coffee cup full of little goodies. So, and I realized that I never shared last year's pictures with you on that. So when that time comes, I will do a before and then this year. But Anyway, so I will share those with you at that time. Okay. Then, unfortunately, my goal was to work on the Stranger Things blanket and get it done before 2026 came. And that did not happen. And I am working on it. I have made lots of progress, and I am on the last portion of the blanket. So I'm very excited about that. Unfortunately, the last 15 days, not including yesterday, because yesterday was kind of the first of me feeling better, but I say that I did take a nap yesterday afternoon, and I did go to bed right at 7:30 last night. But so the last 15, 16 days of my break, which if you do the math, is a little over 2 weeks, I was very sick. I had a UTI, and I also had a little touch of pneumonia. So I had a lot to kind of heal and get over. And as you can see, I'm doing much, much better. So I'm grateful for that. But I am a little bit sad about the time that I lost, but it's okay, because between the break that you gave me, I was able to deal with all of that and not have to bring it to the channel or cancel anything. So that made me so happy, because I don't like it when I have to cancel things or postpone them. So I was grateful that if it were going to happen, it happened during that time, and it did make me slow down. And through all of that, and through just the break itself, it has led me again, like I said, to our joy word, which I'm going to share in a moment. I do have, you know, that joy is my life word, and it is the legacy that I hope to leave behind one day. But with that being said, in one of the sermons that our pastor did, he encouraged us to come up with a word for 2026. And I have come up with a word, and I'm going to share it with you next week, because it will be our joy word. But, and I think you will be on board with that. And in fact, our joy words, probably for the rest of January and the first half of February, are all going to be kind of similar to one another, but yet have its own significant meaning. So I hope that you'll come back every week and find out what that joy word is. Remember, when you use that joy word, that you not only get an extra entry on the wheel if you use it in a sentence, on top of if you leave something else in the comment. So you can have up to possibly 2 entries on the Tea Party giveaway wheel when you do that. All right. Anything else really, really exciting? New Year's was very quiet here. We hung out, watched movies. We did watch the ball drop on TV. Mr. Joyful and I danced a little bit afterwards, because again, I wasn't feeling the greatest. And then we did go outside for a few moments and watch the fireworks. Forgive me that I didn't take any pictures of that, but we actually just lived in the moment. We snuggled up under one blanket together, and it was just a really great time. To just live in that moment. But anyway, I will be capturing much, much more for you as the year goes on. Let's see, anything else really exciting? I got a cute little birthday message from my granddaughters wishing us a Merry Christmas, and their little voices was just so cute. So that was a great gift. Got to spend some time with my parents before I got sick, and so that was a lovely visit. I cannot wait for the next one now that I'm getting better. I did finish the Crafts of the Heart project, which was Mr. Joyful's sweater. You'll be seeing that update on Saturday. And I did finish Grandma Joyful's sweater. She has seen it. She knows it's hers. She loves it. She cannot wait for me to do that update so she can have it. But that is it back there on the mannequin with the snowman hat that I think it's time to put away. But anyway, so thank you again for just allowing us to have that break. We are so excited to get started with some new things this week. Tonight, we'll be meeting with the Joy team, and we're going to start our mystery make-along number 11, and I am beyond pumped and excited for that. And then starting tomorrow night, we are bringing in a new segment that is called Joyful Creations with the Joy team, and we are going to be making a blanket that will take us all year to make, and we'll finish it up like 2 weeks before Christmas. and I'm excited about that. I had a blanket picked out for them, and then 3 weeks ago, literally as I'm laying there in bed, not feeling well, the start of just kind of in that yucky moment, I'm in bed and I wake up and God said, I need you to design this blanket. And I was overwhelmed. I was like, what? I need you to design this blanket. I'm like, do you understand we're starting this in 3 weeks, God? I've got the Stranger Things blanket. I'm not feeling well. You know, all this other stuff is going on. Christmas, the holidays. What? So I went back to sleep. In my sleep, literally, that blanket got designed for the most part. I've made some tweaks to it since then, but yes, literally God gave me a dream and a vision, and that blanket was created. So I woke up and I began writing down what I just dreamed. And that was the last day that I actually took Trayvon. No, that was the last day that I picked him up from work. Because he's gotten his own car. He is working on helping me get a picture of him with it so that I can share that with you guys. But he got a black Dodge Charger, one of my favorite cars. I love Dodge Chargers. But anyway, I was telling him about this, and he started laughing, and he was like, you, of all people, questioning God. What? You know better. And I'm like, I know. So I am excited to say that this blanket is my own personal design, and not to toot my own horn, I'm very pleased with how it's coming out. So I'm excited to finish it. I am in the process of making it. It is sitting right here beside me. Maybe I'll show it next week, but I do want to show it to the Joy team first. Hope you'll understand that. But I will show you what I have done on it next Monday. So stay tuned. That'll give you something else to look forward to. And then the other new segment that will be starting this year is called Craft Table Talks, and I am the most excited about that. Unfortunately, due to the fact that I was sick for a little under 3 weeks, I am not quite ready to start that. So that is something that will be starting sometime next month. So keep an eye out for that. It's going to be more of like a classroom setting. It's going to be where I am just sharing techniques and stitches and anything that even I learn that might be helpful to someone who is starting out with crocheting, or someone that is been a crocheter for quite some time in their season, and it's just some helpful kind of refreshing reminders. Eventually we will bring knitting into it. This segment, I've been talking about it for a while, is something that I'm dedicating to my sister. She wants to learn how to crochet and knit. And so, yeah, she is the main reason that this has even come about. So I am very excited and looking forward to this, and looking to see what I can continue to learn, because I am still very much a student of the craft itself. So, movie nights and all of that are starting back up. This coming Friday is our Real Delight on Friday night. We'll be watching a Charlie Brown Happy New Year. There is a possibility that I'll have 2 Charlie Brown Happy New Years. I've been able to get one. I haven't quite been able to get the second one yet, but hopefully that will come in. But if not, we'll at least watch one. And then our main feature is The Age of Adeline. So I hope that you can come join us. If you would like to join us, you do need to email me and let me know so I can email you the links for those, because we do that in my private Zoom room. And then just a reminder that on Sundays, I am showing an episode every week of The Chosen, and that has been such a delight to watch. And tea parties. Tea parties will be starting again. I have missed those tremendously as well. That will start a week from this Thursday. That will be on Thursday the 15th. And we have a lot to do that day. We get to do our November and our December giveaway wheels, because unfortunately I got sick, and sick a lot. It's time. I'm so glad 2026 is here. But we didn't get to do November's, so we will be doing November's and December's. Also, this Thursday, I hope you'll join me. We had our first pajama party. In fact, that's how we ended 2025 here in the Joyful House. We had a Grinchy bingo, had so much fun with that, rolled right into the next night with our first pajama party and had a lot of fun there and had quite a few folks that participated. So I want to thank them. But this coming Thursday night, we will be showcasing what they made at the pajama party. And we will be picking a winner to receive the second doily. Miss Nancy from Nancy's Little Treasures won the first one, and that was the night of the pajama party. And that is already on its way to her house. And so we'll be giving away the second one this Thursday to those that did what they needed to do to have that opportunity. And also Mr. Joyful and I are sticking in a little something extra to that winner. So it's not too late. I can't tell you what you have to do, but if you go back and watch the pajama party, which it is a long live, it's 8 hours long, but if you figure out what you need to do, you can still jump in on that for Thursday. But oh my gosh, Once Upon a Storybook is going to continue. We are starting a brand new book with Anne of Green Gables. We are starting the next book in the series. So this is on Anne's Dream House. So I'm excited to be continuing that. Just looking forward to a great year, you guys. A really good year. So have our first Eagle Live coming up on the 17th of this month. And if you're not certain what the Eagle Live is, the top 2 tiers of the Joy Team, we call them the Eagles. And anytime they come into a live, they are recognized as being in the house. And but they have their own special live, and we meet once a month. And this month it will be on the night of January the 17th. And they also have a showcase that will be coming out probably sometime later this week, like this weekend or next week. Also, many of you are probably asking what's going on with the Traveling Box of Joy. Well, the Traveling Box of Joy did reach its final destination, and that video will be airing this Friday. And then it will be coming back here to the Joyful House. And then I will do my little visit with the Traveling Box of Joy. And then after that, we'll have the grand finale. And someone that participated will end up with the entire box. So stay tuned for all that. A lot of fun things going on here. So I hope that you will come and join us as you can. Again, I'm not one to push for joy thumbs, but I do appreciate you leaving joy thumbs on any of the videos or lives that you enjoy. I certainly want to say thank you to many of you who've already been hyping my videos. And of course, you can hype a live once it is finished. You cannot do it beforehand or during the live, but you can do it after the live. And several of you have already been doing that. I do want to thank you for that. I thank you for your comments. Remember, the more comments you make in the chat and afterwards, get you entries on the giveaway wheel. Nightbot recognizes all the times that you chat during a live, and we've been doing recognition and extra entries on the Tea Party giveaway wheel for those. And we've been recognizing those who are top chatters that come in first, second, and third place. I do that on the post. We'll be continuing that this year as well. So lots of fun things going on. And as always, I always encourage you to be respectful when you go into other people's lives as well. Make sure you say hello, even if it's a blanket hello. Oftentimes that is what I do, because when I do go into a live, I'm usually either working on videos or things behind the scenes here to keep the channel running, or that's when I sneak in some moments to work on these projects that I'm doing on the channel. So I'll do a blanket hello, but it's always great to go in and not only welcome and say hello to the host, but to those that are in the chat as well, because whenever you enter someone's house, you are part of their family. And I think it's important that we treat each other as such. There's so much negativity going on in our world that a simple hello brings such a smile to each other's faces that it really can make a loud difference in someone's life. So thank you for that. All right. I think that catches us up with everything that's been going on over the last couple of weeks. I know this has been lengthy and I apologize for that, but that's what happens when we take a break. We got to catch up on all that's been going on. I do want to remind everyone, if you have a birthday and you don't think I have it and you celebrate it, please let me know so that we can recognize you during that week and just celebrate with you all week long. And if there's something going on over at your house that you would like for me to help shout out, let me know. I'm always happy to do that here in the tea parties and in a post. Any way that I can support you, let me know. If you have a prayer request, my email is always open. And even if you need like a few moments in a one-on-one Zoom call, let me know. I am here for you. It is truly an honor and a pleasure to get to lift you up, to whisper your name to the heavens and just ask and pray over you. I am learning that more and more as life goes on, that some of what I'm going through has nothing to do with me. It has to do with encouraging others. And because of that, I'm learning to say, okay, and I'm learning to just be patient and wait to get through these storms of life. Sometimes God is teaching me some very hard lessons because I'm a stubborn kid. So sometimes he has to do a lot to get my attention. But the growth process has been great. And I appreciate you being on that journey with me and the grace that you give me. I didn't realize until I started this, especially in the last couple years, how much grace I really need. I am definitely a work in progress and I have a lot of flaws and I make a lot of mistakes. But you guys have been so gracious to ride this journey with me and to help me through these growing pains. And because of that, I am truly a better version of myself. Have a long way to go, but I will keep trying until my last breath to be a better version of who I am and to learn and grow from my mistakes and to learn to say I'm sorry and just make sure that I am making all things right and accepting my faults and apologizing to those that I need to along the way. So with that being said, are you finally ready for your joy word for this week? Your joy word for this week is rebuild. Rebuild. I thought, what could we use for our very first joy word to start us off for this wonderful, fantastic, joyful year that we're about to embark on? And it is rebuild. I thought about refresh, I thought about do over, start over, but in the end, rebuild is what stuck. And so let's talk about that for a moment. What does rebuild mean? Rebuild means to build something again after it has been damaged or destroyed. Well, what's the difference between rebuild or start over? Well, I'll tell you that in a minute. And I'll tell you why I chose rebuild over start over. Because when we think about a new year, we think about starting over, starting fresh. But there's a reason that I'm not asking you to do that. But first, let's talk about rebuild a little bit more. So again, to rebuild means to build something again after it has been damaged or destroyed. From a biblical perspective, it means restoring something that has been physically, emotionally, or mentally broken. All right. A common synonym for the word rebuild includes maybe reconstruct, restore, renovate, refurbish, and repair. And I want to take a moment and break those down. So to reconstruct means to build again after something has been destroyed or endured some kind of destruction. To restore means to bring back to its former condition. To renovate means to restore to a good condition. Refurbish means to restore to a good condition, especially more in the aspect of cleaning and repairing. Rehabilitate. What a great word. It means to restore to a former capacity or condition. Now, we can throw in other words like repair, mend, patch, recondition, remodel, revamp, renew. All of those are great words. To repair means to fix something that is broken or damaged. To mend means to make whole, maybe something that's been torn or just slightly broken. To patch means to mend with a piece of material to bring in something else to make it whole again. Recondition means to kind of just restore it to a better version of what it currently is. To remodel means to change the structure or the form of. To revamp means just to give it a whole new look. To renew just means to become whole or new again. So we take all of those words and they're all synonyms of rebuild. But the question is, how can I rebuild my life? Well, rebuilding our life involves accepting, first off, our current situation, creating a clear vision for what our future is going to be, what it's going to look like, and then taking small but consistent actions supported by self-care, a strong support system like you guys give me, and a focus on learning from the setbacks in our life to build a momentum towards a more fulfilling life. Now, some of the goals that I've set for myself, not New Year's resolutions. I don't like New Year's resolutions, and I'll tell you why. I believe that it sets us up for failure. Sorry to those of you that like doing them. You keep on because it works for you. For me, when I set New Year's resolutions, oftentimes they're great for a time, but then I get off of them. And then when I look back, I feel like, oh, I failed. So I like to set like 1 or 2 goals that I strive for, that help me become that better version, that help me rebuild, so to speak. For me, the first and most important one for this year is to work smarter, not harder. And that is not just in my life, but that's here on the channel. I am learning to find what works for me on the channel, what I have fun doing, what others seem to be engaging in and having fun back. Again, not knocking anyone. I don't want to be a cookie cutter of someone else. I want to do what works for me. I want to do what brings me back every single video and live to why I started. And that was to share my passion of crochet and my life in all aspects. The physical part of it, the mental part of it, the emotional part of it, the spiritual part of it. And I feel like as I enter into 2026, that is exactly where I'm at. But I want to stay mindset focused that I want to work smarter, not harder. So you may see some changes in like intros and outros and things like that. You may see things done a little bit different, but for the most part, they're going to be the same because after 6 years, I'm finally finding out what works. And if you're a new content creator, let that be enlightenment to you that you're not going to get it right from the get-go. It's going to take some time and some practice. But when it becomes natural, then you'll know you've arrived. And I feel like I'm at a part where things are natural. Doesn't mean I'm not going to make mistakes. Doesn't mean you're not going to have bloopers, because you'll have plenty of those. And that's why I share those bloopers. Not only for those that are wanting to become content creators or are existing content creators to see that we're going to make mistakes. We're not going to get it right every single time. And then for those that are not content creators, it's a chance for you to laugh with me It's a chance for us to just come closer together and unite, because we all have flaws and we all make mistakes. And if we can learn to laugh through them, then not only will it help us get through them, but it'll help us to become better. So anyway, getting back on track, where was I? Got a little off topic there, off script, as you want to say. And that's the thing. I've become so comfortable with you that I can just share what's truly here and not feel like I've got to think through everything. And so I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful that we have that kind of relationship. All right, so coming back to rebuilding and what that looks like. All right, so why rebuild and not start over? Well, the reason I don't want you to start over is because what you've been through has helped make you who you are. So if we tried to erase all of that, we would lose some very valuable parts of ourselves. And so we want to take what we've been through. We want to take those experiences. We want to take those fumbles. We want to take those mountaintops. We want to take those valleys. We want to take those struggles. We want to take those achievements, and we want to build upon them. Just like with the channel, I've come to learn in the last almost 6 years what works and what doesn't work. And I may still try new things yet, and they may work and they may not. But we'll never know until we try. But if we could try to erase our past, then we're literally starting fresh again. And we're going to lose so much valuableness. So I want you to keep what you have. And I want you to reflect on what needs to change and make those changes happen. And as I've just shared, I'm going to work smarter, not harder. And then coming back to what I just shared in building a momentum towards a more fulfilling life. And that is my second goal for this year, is to do things that bring fulfillment. If it's not bringing fulfillment, then I'm going to let it go. So those are my goals: to work smarter, not harder, and to live a life of fulfillment. We only get one go at this. So before the final act, I want to be fulfilled. I want to be happy, and I want to be joyful. And through the trials and tribulations that I go through, I want to become stronger and wiser. So, hope you're ready to rebuild with me. And of course, I'm referring to rebuilding your own life, because who you are is so important and so valuable. And I am indebted, I am grateful to have you in my life, that you find something in me worthy to share your important and valuable life with. So thank you for that. All right. So rebuild. Rebuild is your word. All right. It's that time to chase our fun. So if you are ready, let's chase our fun. Here at the Joyful House, when we chase our fun, we are following a book by Annie Downs called Chase the Fun, and she will take us through 100 different ways to chase our fun. And with this being episode number 29, that means we are on Chase Our Fun number 29. And so Annie says for us to be an amateur at travel. Marcel Proust said, "The real voyage of discovery consists not in seeking new landscapes, but in having new eyes." And I think that just falls right into us starting off this brand new year and this year or this week of rebuilding is not getting rid of what's already passed, but building upon it. And that's what Marcel is saying, that the real voyage of discovery consists not in seeking new landscapes, but in having a new set of eyes, a new perspective on things. Let's see what Annie has to say. She says, "My group of friends travel together fairly regularly. They travel regularly. With each trip, we predictably fall into our respective unspoken roles. One friend is the activities coordinator, scoping out the sights to see, the restaurants to visit, the attractions that we shouldn't miss. One is the double checker, kind of the mom of our little crew, making certain that no one has forgotten anything and that the doors to the condo is locked when we leave. She also always has the snacks. One is the time passer, curating road trip playlists and great conversation starter questions, always with a "what if we" up her sleeve, and one without whom no trip would ever actually move from dream to reality is the planner, compiling the itinerary, ensuring that the reservations are made, and making sure we know where to be and when. Attempting to travel without the planner makes things, well, interesting to say the least. It calls to mind a solo trip I took to New York City a while back and a certain subway ride that was tens of minutes longer than it needed to be due to the fact that maybe I wasn't on the correct train on my first attempt. Needless to say, there was an initial panic and some moments of stress, and then I got things figured out, corrected my course, and made it to my destination only a little shaken up. How people ever got anywhere before the cell phone era, I will never know. I didn't have some amazing serendipitous experience in the process. There was no epiphany that made it clear why being in a different place than I should have been that day mattered. What did happen, though, is that I learned something about myself. I can get lost and figure it out and be okay. Every time I go to a new place, I'm an amateur at that place. It's good for us to veer off of our beaten paths. We gain confidence and resilience, and we have fun when we discover new places, people, foods, customs, smells, and cultures. New is fun, so let yourself be an amateur at travel. You don't even have to go very far to find something altogether new to connect with someone who can teach you all sorts of things. All right. Are you ready for your Chase the Fun challenge? Are you ready to chase your fun this week? If you're a student, travel down the hall and introduce yourself to other students in a classroom, or maybe if you're in college, a dorm. Travel across the street and take muffins to a new neighbor. Travel to a new restaurant and experience the flavors of a different culture. Travel to a new city or country and leave space for a little wandering. Well, some of those may be easy to accomplish and others may not. But what I do challenge you to do is try something new. Either go to a new place and experience, what that environment has, whether it's a park or a store. Try a new restaurant that you've never been to before. Maybe you've just met somebody new. Meet up with them for lunch or dinner and get to know them. I would love to hear what you do. And if you leave an extra comment in the chat or in the comment section below this video, I will give you an extra entry if you tell me what you did to be an amateur at travel. And I'm going to come back and actually be more specific about something on our joy word. So I hope you're still with me. But I don't want to just know how you feel the word rebuild can be used in a sentence. I want to know how the word rebuild applies to you. Yes, I'm asking you to be vulnerable, but I'll do the same. I wish I had that prepared at this moment, but this is an on-the-fly thing. And that's part of what my new journey this year is going to be about, is just living in the moment and being real, even realer than I've ever been. And so I will come back and I will leave a comment as well. And I will share with you next week how I plan on rebuilding my life in 2026. All right. Well, that is wrapping us up for the week. I hope you are ready to have a joyful week. I hope you'll chase your fun and be an amateur at travel in some way, shape, or form. I look forward to hearing what your comments will share, because that will actually help motivate you into growing and being a better version of yourself. You got to take the step, my friends. And if you're not comfortable leaving it in a comment where everyone can read, you can certainly email me and it will count just the same. All right. Thank you for letting me be a little bit long-winded. We had, 3 weeks worth of playgrounds to make up for? But nonetheless, thank you for this grace. I hope you've enjoyed it. Be joyful, my friends, and stay crafty in your own way. Make your own joyful creations. Be the joy in everything you do. And remember to hug yourself daily and don't be afraid to rebuild. All right? Nugs and joy. Mwah. I love you, and I'll see you next week.